Hello, boys and girls. So in today's video, we're going to be working on some vocabulary words. Vocabulary words are words that we may not understand in the story or we've never heard before. Before we get started with vocabulary words, I want to review a page that you may have seen in your activities this week. And this page is called How We Read. What I want to do is I want to point out some things in your book for how we begin to learn to read. And I have a little song that goes with this. So in our book, what we want to start to do is we want to learn how to read from left to right. So when you're reading at home, see if you can use your pointer finger to start where the words are and brush under the words from left to right. And in my paper on your seesaw activity, it shows you left to right. So I'm going to sing my little song, and this is how it goes. Top to bottom, left to right, left to right. Top to bottom, left to right, left to right. When I read and when I write, I go top to bottom, left to right, left to right. So maybe you want to practice that and sing it sometime when you're reading so you know to go left to right. Also, when we're learning how to read, we don't want to read super fast, but we don't want to read super slow. We want to read at a normal talking voice, and I promise that you'll get there. We also want to read with our eyes, and sometimes, like I said, you may even be reading with your ears because you're listening to a story. So remember, the first thing we're going to do is go left to right. This is our book, The King of Kindergarten, that we've been working on this week. And there were some words in our story that we may not know, so I want to go over those with you. And I've marked some of the pages where these words were. The first word is a word called garments. It says, you'll dress yourself neatly in hand-picked garments from the far-off villages of Osh and Kosh Bigosh. So garment, what do you think garments might be? And here's a picture kind of giving you a clue. Garments is any piece of clothing. So it could be a shirt, your pants, socks. Garments are just types of clothes that you wear every day. So that is what garments are. Our next vocabulary word was found on this page, and I even mentioned it in our video lesson earlier this week. It says, then a big yellow carriage will deliver you to a grand fortress. There are two vocabulary words on this page, carriage and fortress. What do you think that big yellow carriage would be talking about? What are we talking about there? Well, a long time ago, before there were cars, there were carriages. And a carriage is a vehicle with wheels that used to carry people. And if you see here in my picture, if you kind of look closely, horses were the ones that used to be attached to a carriage so that they would roll. So the carriage is where the people would sit. So when you go to school, sometimes you might be riding a big yellow carriage, which is the school bus because it is taking you somewhere. It's a vehicle to carry people. Our next word is a fortress. Who's ever built a fortress at home before? Maybe you've built a fort in your room or outside to play in, but it's going to deliver you to a big fortress. The big fortress they're talking about is the school. So if you look right here, a fortress is a large building that is protected. What is this a picture of? When I look at this picture, I think that it is a castle, and there is a fortress or a big wall around the big building that's protecting it. So a castle could be a fortress. Our last vocabulary word is on our last page. It says, and tomorrow it will begin again. Another day as the charming, the wonderful, and the kind king of kindergarten. Charming is a word we like to use in school. Charming means to be polite or friendly. So when you are charming, that means you are being friendly or polite. And polite means to use good manners like thank you, please, you're welcome. Those are polite words. So in our activity for today, you might see a page that looks a little bit like this. What you're going to do is you're going to use your highlighter tool and highlight the word that belongs to each picture. And let's go over our vocabulary words again. It is charming, garment, fortress, and carriage.